Hello everyone, my name is Juliette Payen. I am a registered nurse at Grand Canyon University, and this is my presentation for evidence-based practice. And my topic is on preventing burnout in nursing. Um, the outline is as follows. What is burnout? What is the cause of burnout in nursing? The literature review of burnout in nursing, the symptoms of nursing burnout, the solution or prevention, implementation, the evaluation, and the conclusion. Let's talk about burnout. What is burnout? There's people have different feeling, different views on burnout, but typically, the plain definition of burnout is the frustration, loss of interest, decreased productivity, fatigue caused by overwork and prolonged stress, according to Wininsky 2013. So burnout, as we're gonna see later on, the effects of the lack of interest, the decrease in productivity, all that has a ripple effect in the burnout scenario. So burnout is a serious issue in nursing. More and more nurses are feeling the brunt, you might say, of burnout. From talking to nurses as young as 5 years in the profession, or talking about their feeling burnt out already. So imagine so few years in the profession for them to talk about burnout already. How about when they get to the 10th, 20, 30 year mark? So it's important to start taking measures and precautions in preventing burnout. What are some of the causes of burnout in nursing? Some of the causes, according to the literature, are hopelessness, anger, lack of trust, lack of control, overwork. All these things are some of the causes of burnout in the nursing profession. The literature review talks about burnout in specific areas, such as high stress areas, such as ER, ICU, and oncology. But no matter what area in the hospital nurses work, you see the effect of burnout in the care that's being provided, in the morale of the nurses that's working in those areas. So burnout is a serious issue, and hopefully in the near future there will be more more research on burnout. Well, we have an idea what the cause is. So now, what are we gonna do about doing something about it? Okay, and this is where I feel most strongly about that, because something can be done about the burnout. What are the symptoms? The symptoms of nursing burnout are things like um, poor productivity, lack of interest, patient complaint, poor morale. So these are all causes. These are all symptoms of nursing burnout. And when you have low morale, what happened? Poor productivity. Poor productivity, patient complaint, lack of engagement, lack of interest. So it's a ripple effect. So it all built into into the next frame. So with all that information, you would think that hospital administrators would come together and say, listen, since the nurses are the heart and soul of the hospital, let's do something to prevent this burnout. But yeah, unfortunately, it's not happening. So some of the solution to the nursing to burnout: communication. Both nurses and administrators have to come together to talk about some of the solution, remove some of the barriers, being participate in the decision making. Let's think about it. Nurses, we are professionals. We are a professional body. We are one of the largest professional body in the nation. So when you're making a decision that's going to concern our work, that then we should be included. We should be involved in those decision making. So those are some of the potential solution to resolve the problem. Okay. And earlier I did mention that, burnout is caused by stress. And remember, and as nurses, we are faced with our own personal stress. But there's also, and then we come to work and having to face work related stress. So when all these stress come together, nurses are breaking down. We're not able to do our best. So so having a handle on especially the work related stress is great. But if you have such program like EAP, that can help with the personal stress, that's good also. But a lot of time, not neither of these stressors or neither of these stressors are being talked about. So it is important to at least take care of at least one. If you come to work and you know that you have the backup of um, the administration, your nurse manager, if there's a problem, you can easily talk. If you have a hard night, a difficult patient, there are spread um, there are support there. Night nurses, I have an infinity for night nurses because I work nights for a while. Um, Night shift takes a lot out of you as a person. It drains you. Sleeping at night and sleeping during the day is two different things. So maybe twice a month to just go around with a cart of fruits, some beverages, just to say thank you to the night nurses for doing a great job. And then the same thing with the day shift nurses. Day shift, there's a lot going on during the day. They also need a little pat in the back saying what a great job they're doing. So so nurses and administrators have to come together to come up with an implementation to solve the burnout problem. Um, and in the implementation plan, we using the Carter's 8-step solution. Each step builds on top of each other. And as you can see on the slide, one of the major thing is communication, removing barriers. If you have barriers, then you're not gonna communicate. The administration and nurses have to build a relationship, um, and then at the end, that new culture that's just been cultivated have to be nurtured. You may have to go back on the table every so often and just reassess how things are working out. But it's important to be able to come together when something is not right, to discuss it, and then to come with a plan. Evaluating the plan. Again, the nice thing I from reading Carter's model is that each step built on top of each other. You can easily, or to some point, easily see when something is not working. So you can either go back to the previous step, or there are times you have to go back to the beginning, back to the drawing board, back to the communication table to retalk about what's going on. The guiding group, the group that's got the go between the nurses and administration, may have to go back and forth a couple of times to make sure that the decision is good for both the hospital administrators and the nursing staff. Okay, so continuous evaluation is important, especially in a program such as nursing burnout, which is a big issue. In conclusion, we have to realize, nurses have to realize, hospital administrators have to realize that nursing burnout is a serious issue. It affects the nurses, it affects the hospital, it costs the hospital a lot of money. With absenteeism, low morale, lack of productivity, patient complaint, root cause analysis, all those things are cause of nursing burnout. So it is important for administrators to take that into account. Something have to, so we have to come together to come up with a solution that's going to work for both the nurses and the hospital. The well-being of the nurses is the well-being of the nurses, the hospital, the patient is all dependent on a solution to the burnout situation. And nurses being supportive of one another is crucial to to solving the burnout issue. That concludes my presentation on nursing burnout. There's a lot more to be said and research on the burnout or nursing. There's a variety of causes, issues that cause nursing burnout. The fact that we are talking about it, that's a beginning, and we have a long way to go. And I hope I hope I will be part of in my hospital to be part of a group to kind of help the communication with nursing burnout, and hopefully come up with a game plan with a plan to help mediate the effect of burnout in my hospital. Thank you.